Music BC. How y'all doing, man? Here, let me turn this down just a little bit more. I'll come back. Hear that creakiness? I'm listening to it on my console, my like late 60s, 70s console, and it's friggin' great sound to it. It was given to me by somebody who was just gonna throw it out, and I was like, hey, hold on just a second. Let's bring that into the cosmic realm, which is exactly where it's at now. And we get to listen to it and enjoy every inch of the music in this very place, the peaceful, groovy location known as the cosmic realm. Anyway, I'm Brian, and this is Cosmic Vinyl, and got some good stuff to show you. I really do. I thought, God, I cannot go through this weekend without making a video. I've got some great stuff, and here it's midnight on a Saturday night, and I'm all dressed up and nowhere to go but right here with you guys, and that's where I want to be. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to start with a book first. Oh, wait. Let's get the eye shields off and let you guys inside the cosmic the cosmic brain, if you will. Like my little glasses there, huh? Actually, I just need these to see. Where am I? Who's that? Check this out. Can you guys see this? It's a work of art that's in the cosmic realm. Just send it over here. Alright, I'm back. Alright, cheers to y'all. I'm drinking a little Mexican beer here, a little Dos Equis. How about a little cheers to the VC out there? Oh, so good. It's beer. Enjoy. All right, first things first. How about this? I was at Half Price Books, and I found this book, and I had to have it. And my 15-year-old daughter is totally into like hippie stuff too. Anyway, I picked up this book. It's called Hippie, and it's written by, what's this gentleman's name? Barry Miles, who apparently was a central figure in the development of the hippie movement, and has written biographies of Beat Generation writers Allen Ginsberg, William Burroughs, and Jack Kerouac. So yeah, this guy's got the cred. But this book is absolutely gorgeous. Here's the back here. And it's just got some great illustrations, and it just, you know, gives you a brief overview of, there's Jack, Ken Kesey's acid test, the bus that I think it's called Further, that drove cross country. What an amazing picture of the bus there. Bus, the magic bus. Look at I just love the dress of people back then. I mean, the colors. I mean, I was 2 years old, I guess, 2 or 3 years old when all this was going on. Now Mazzy, he was right in the thick of it, you know, he was a teenager. God, what a great time this must have been. Here's like some cool like album covers and stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend this book. Great pictures, just some great stories and stuff. This is Hippie. So yeah, go for it. I'm just gonna start off with, let's see, I got a few records here. I usually like to start with the least and work to the most coolest, I guess, if that makes sense. Sorry, it takes me a while to get comfy in the cosmic realm. Actually, I need a different chair. This chair bites. Anyway, this isn't, this is Stories, and I'm sure that you probably, this is their 1970s rock and pop band that, they're probably best known as being a one-hit wonder with the song Brother Louie, which actually is a cover song, originally done by a funkier type band called Hot Chocolate. But anyway, yeah, they had a #1 hit with that record. And the keyboardist in this band, Michael Brown, was also in Left Bank, and he wrote their big hit, Walk Away Renee. So it's typical 70s rock, pop. It's not heavy hard rock or anything. In fact, the most rambunctious song on here, here's the full cover. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But there's the gatefold. I don't. I suppose like the heaviest, most rambunctious song would be Brother Louie, and it almost doesn't even fit on this. A lot of these songs are kind of Beatlesque type pop songs. The singer, what the hell was his name? Oh, Ian Lloyd. Actually didn't think that Brother Louie was really the hit that represented what their sound actually was. It was kind of a last-minute addition to their album. In fact, there was releases of this record without that song on it, and it was added later. So, for me, that's the best song on here. I'm sorry. The rest of the song is just kind of average. Although there is some great guitar work on here. It's, I don't know, Brother Louie I wish they would have did the whole record with the same style as Brother Louie, even though it's not their song really, because that is a great song. I remember seeing it when I was a kid. They performed it live on, I think live, I don't know, on the Midnight Special, which was a rock show that they had, like a variety show with like rock bands on it that, I don't know, some of them played live, and I think some of it was probably lip synced, but yeah, Stories. It's, I paid $3 for it. I thought it looked cool, plus I'm a sucker for those 70s one-hit wonders, so yeah. The band actually broke up and went on to form other bands and do session work, so, it's Stories. Now this is a great record right here. I had seen this record in a record store in Des Moines that I sometimes go to, and I didn't realize it was an original pressing, and I was like, God, I'm not going to pay $20, excuse me, for this repress, even though I would have, but I just kept passing it up. I figured there'd be no way it would be there after months of leaving it behind. But sure enough, it was still there, and figured out it was an original press of this in the shrink. This is Gloria, the first release for Shadows of Night. This is an American rock band formed in the 60s. They were from the Chicago area. They were influenced by like the British blues. If you took like the Stones and the Animals and the Yardbirds and add some Chicago blues to it, and then give it an English interpretation, then you've got and maybe give it a little bit of a snotty pre-punk attitude. And you've got the Shadows of Night, Gloria. So yeah, I love it. They were their big hit, obviously, is Gloria, the cover of Van Morrison and them's that cover song. This is on the Dunwich label, which I noticed has the number 666 on it, which was kind of creepy, but it is what it is. It's even got it on the cover here, the Dunwich 666 on the bottom there. But yeah, this is a great album. They actually were kind of discovered after they had an opening slot, opening for the Byrds. So yeah, signed to Dunwich after that, and they also have the album, their second album, I think it's called Backdoor Men, which is another great garage type sound to it, and it's just, you know, the sound is just so, it's so cool. It's got that, you know, that 60s like swagger to it, and it just has bad attitude all over it, you know, like, hey, you know, we're a freaking rock band, and we're just here to rock your face, and it's you know, it's snotty punkiness almost. There's some Willie Dixon covers on here that are really great too. You can't judge a book by the cover. I'm your hoochie coochie man, and I just want to make love to you. And there's a Chuck Berry cover, Let It Rock. A Johnny Lee Hooker cover called Boom Boom, and that song just rocks out. In fact, if I had to choose, my Gloria is probably not even my top 5 on this album. I would go with I Got My Mojo Working and Boom Boom. I just love it. Just like almost kind of Stones-ish, with an English, with like a Chicago blues thrown in there. I love it. Yeah, great to have picked it up. Story behind it is that I got it, and I made the rookie mistake of not taking the record out and looking at it thoroughly, and it's all covered with hairlines and scuffs, and it plays through fine with no skips, but it's crackly in places, and as long as it's loud, you can't hear it. But I went back into the store. They gave me some store credit, so I ended up getting that original copy for about $12. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's a great record. That's full show. Now I've been really into like these like 60s bands, and I've really been into like the San Francisco thing back in the 60s, where all this psychedelic stuff started. And most of it starts with Mazzy's 1969 contest. Thanks a lot, Mazzy. It was a great contest, by the way, and we got to see some great videos. But yeah, I just would love to sit down with Mazzy and just talk about like how it was to be there and live it, and I'm sure it was exciting. And but yeah, I'm just like totally diving into that San Francisco 60s era music. I just I'm kind of studying it, just kind of absorbing it. It's really quite a great part of musical history. What we're listening to right now is another original copy of Love's first record, and this is absolutely amazing. I love Love. There's Arthur. Look how cool they look. Look at Arthur Lee on the cover there. That guy just exudes like coolness. What a great. And then on the back there, these pictures for this album cover were taken at the garden in this place that they lived. It was kind of a communal place. They call it the Castle, where they lived in LA. And just look at the gorgeous scenery. Perfect for an album cover shoot. But yeah, this was released in 1966 on Elektra. And they're a Los Angeles band that made their fame and fortune in working their way up in the LA clubs. They were a house band. I can't remember the club, but you know, they were obviously led by Arthur Lee, who is their main songwriter. But also Brian McLean, their guitarist, also wrote some of their great songs as well. As you can see, they were a racially diverse band, so the music drew on lots of different sources like folk rock, flamenco, blues, jazz, pop, hard rock, and it's all in here. This is absolutely killer record. My Little Red Book that I opened up with there. A Message to Pretty is just a rousing rocker. They do a cover of Hey Joe. Mushroom Clouds is a great song. This is just absolutely amazing. It's garagey, it's rocky, it's psyche. There's a lot of people out there in the VC that have shown Love albums, and most of the applause goes to Forever Changes, but and I do have that on CD. I definitely want to get it on vinyl. I also want to get El Capo on vinyl as well. But I think this album is easily right up there with those records. So yeah, Love, their self-titled record, absolutely amazing. His vocals are just they're killer. I wish they'd have done more stuff, and I wish that they would have made it bigger than they did, but it is what it is. Now there is a little story behind this next record I'm going to show you as well. If any of you have been watch Chris Has the Spins, he's got a great channel. He came across a record collection that was absolutely mind-blowing for 60s and psych and 70s hard rock, and he got a killer deal. Some of it was $2 a record, some of it was 50 cents a record, and one of those records I seen that he showed, I had been actively searching for, and I mentioned to him in the comments that if he would be at all interested in selling it, I would be very interested in coming to a deal on it. And it's this American Metaphysical Circus by Joe Byrne and the Field Hippies. This is a killer record. It was recorded after Joe Bird's departure from the band the United States of America, which when people talk about that record, they also talk about this record as well. It's got extensive use of synthesizers and a vocoder, and also with a group of West Coast session musicians that Joe Bird called the Field Hippies. It's so psychedelic. It's actually, the two sides of the record are split into like 4 sub, I don't know how to describe, it's broken like subsets, and each one has their own little concept. The first one on side 1 is called the Sub-Sylvian Litanies, and that's basically 11 minutes of an acid trip. It is some just great psychedelic effects and music, and female vocals that are absolutely out of this world. The You Can Never Come Down, Moon Song, just great. Great vocals by Susan DeLange. I just absolutely love it. And then the second part is called American Bed Music, 4 Dreams for a Departing President. There is a song on there called Invisible Man, which is definitely a song about President Lyndon B. Johnson. And then there's Mr. 4th of July, which is like a ragtime song, straight out of like the 40s or whatever. And then you go to the other side on side 2 and you open up with a gospel song that has just some killer, great organ, and then goes back into The Elephant at the Door, which is a great Psych song. And then there's almost Leisure World, which is almost like someone announcing an advertisement for a geriatric home or a nursing home. But in there is some sound, some music, and like a sound effects of an old man like in the throes of like anguish or death. This has a little bit of everything, and it is a trip. I have yet to grasp what Joe Bird is actually trying to get across here, but not for the lack of trying. I've listened to this fully sober. I've listened to it somewhat altered. I've listened to it with a few beers in me. And yeah, it's just, I'm done trying to figure it out. Just a great listen. It has great psych freakouts. It's got beautiful string arrangements, great vocals. Just a great record. On the back here, you got a little bit of history about what Joe Bird and his compositions, and it's also got lyrics on the back as well. So yeah, it's a killer record. It's on the Columbia label, so I think we need some more music. Hold on. Bear with me. This is for the creek. It's like I'm opening a coffin. It's a record coffin. VC, I can hear fireworks outside. In our town, we had a huge downtown concert where they basically closed off our downtown and had a big country concert. I think there was a few opening rock bands that sounded really good. I didn't attend, but it's a big thing for our town. Woo! Here we go! I went to Georgia. You gotta love, right? Arthur Lee and Love. Alright, next on the agenda. Let's see here. I always make a few notations so I don't forget everything about the record. This is everybody knows this record, and everybody in the VC that is into Psych or any 60s type music, or any British invasion type stuff, has definitely shown this record. This is the Zombies Odyssey and Oracle. Obviously this is not an original copy, as they are quite spendy, but I decided to pick up this this reissue for under $20. And anyway, the Zombies are an English rock band. As you all know, I don't have to give you the lowdown on the Zombies. They were formed in the early 60s, and this record was actually released in '68. It has kind of a sordid history. It was, actually the Zombies were inducted into the Hall of Fame, which well-deserved Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction this year. So this Odyssey and Oracle is their second studio album release on CBS Records. Like I said, this is a reissue. Not sure what label, Faris Vintage or whatever this is, but It's psych pop, it's baroque pop, it's just pop too. Just beautiful, beautiful record. It's got some great, great songs on it. It was actually recorded in Abbey Road shortly after the Beatles had recorded Sgt. Pepper's in that same studio. In fact, John Lennon had left behind his Mellotron, which the Zombies did put to use. They also used the same Studer 4-track to record this record as the Beatles did with the Sgt. Pepper's album. So yeah, pretty cool. This is actually the band going through a pretty rough part and actually breaking up. Upon the before this was even released, the band had called it quits. The morale was at an all-time low for sure. Yeah, they were all but broken up, which is so crazy because this record is one of the most acclaimed rock records of the '60s. Al Cooper, who worked in production at CBS Records, was in London and he picked up a few albums. It even says on the back here, he picked up like 40 records while he was there, and this one was like what he described as a rose among weeds. And he gave this once he got this record back to America, after going over it, they found that there was like possibly 3 hits on this. The Butcher's Tale, Time of the Season, and I would guess that it was probably, the other one was Care of Cell 44. But anyway, which is a great opening track, very great pop song. But he took it back to America, pushed this record to be released in America. It was. It became successful with definitely the hit with the time of the season. And the band has already broke up, and this became a successful record. A couple of the guys like Rod Argent and I can't remember the other fellow's name, already went on to form their own other band, Argent. So when this record became successful, promoters out there put together several fake zombie bands and sent them out to capitalize on this record that they had nothing to do with. I find that just absolutely deplorable, but it is what it is. I don't think that the Zombies actually reunited until like '90s, so it's too bad because it's a great record. It's got kind of an autumn feel to it. I don't know. I've just always thought that Time of the Season was like a fall song, and the record kind of, as a whole, kind of represents that sort of feel to it. It's just some beautiful pop songs with vocals are absolutely rich and full, and I love this record, and I don't know how or why I put off for so long picking up a copy of this. It's gorgeous, and I've already spun it several times, but it'll keep in full rotation. The next record. Oh, did I tell you? I don't know if I finished telling you about this, but I ended up buying this off Chris Has the Spins, and this is an OG copy of this. I couldn't believe it. He gave me a great deal, and he also sent along a couple of kooky records, a Pickwick compilation of Confunction songs, a little funk action. I love the funk. I don't know. I haven't spun this yet. I'm sure it'll be great. It looks like it's in great shape. And I like Confunction, I like funk, so, yeah, should be a cool listen. How about this? losing it. A little K-Tel action, some Looney Tunes. This has, and it's not Looney Tunes like the cartoon, but this is just like, and I remember having this as a kid, actually, now that I think about it. It's just all the crazy songs that were released, like, they're coming to take me away, haha, they're coming to take me away, ho ho. Or hello Mutta, hello Fada, here I am at whatever. Seems like the song with Muhammad Ali is on here too. I don't know, there's some Tiny Tim, Rubber Ducky, Little Red Riding Hood by Sam the Sham. Just those kind of offbeat songs. I find that kind of cool that he threw those in, that Chris from the Spins threw that in there. Thanks a lot, Chris. I appreciate your patience on that sale, by the way. I know it was a rough deal. I had some issues with my card. But anyway, next on the agenda is I picked up this original copy of Magic Bus, The Who on tour. This is basically the fourth American release by the English rock band The Who. I don't need to tell you about The Who. They're mega band, and I'm a huge fan of The Who. I love this cover, and obviously this is totally psychedelic bus. It's definitely a magic bus. Decca released this in 1968, basically to capitalize on the hit song Magic Bus by The Who. And contrary to whatever the title alludes to here, it almost sounds like it should be like a live record saying they're on tour, but this is definitely not a live record. It's just a collection of some of their early releases. The hits on this would be Pictures of Lily, Magic Bus, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Also Disguises too. This is just a great record. This rocks. This just gives you an idea. The Who they were kind of garagey at the beginning, bluesy. They're just a killer early rock band. And this definitely has that 60s feel to it. It's got a little psych to it, a little garage. But I was listening to this the other night while I was laying in bed just goofing around, and it just kicks ass. It is just an amazing record. Some great songs. Pictures of Lily is just a killer song. I believe it's a song about a teenage kid who doesn't know, he's feeling these changes in his body. He's starting to like girls. His dad gives him a poster of a chick to put on his wall, and you know where teenage boys go from there when they have a poster of a half-dressed woman on their wall. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing here. Anyway, Magic Bus, The Who. That's it. I know this is a long video, but yeah, pick up the book, the Hippie book. Pick up some of those 60s Psych records. Some great stuff. I've got listening to do, folks. This is Brian from Cosmic Vinyl, man. I love you guys. I got some more records coming that'll be great. So, you guys out there in the vinyl community and the YouTube community, just, keep tuned in. I'll keep trying to get videos out there. I'm watching everybody. I watch so many videos, it's not even funny. I've subscribed to some new guys I'll shout out next time. I wasn't prepared this time, but I love you guys out there, man. Have a great night tonight, man. It's morning now. Have a great day tomorrow. And you guys, peace out from the Cosmic Realm. This is Cosmic Brian, and this is Cosmic Vinyl. I'll see you next time. Love you guys, VC.